Well, howdy YouTube family. It's Bolt CRNA coming to you again with another day's topic. Today, let's get into kind of the romance and personal lives of CRNAs because I read an article from Yahoo Finance that was talking about the top divorce rates or the top careers that result in divorce. And CRNAs are actually on that list. So let's go through that list, the top 10 of them, and figure out what are the top 10 careers that are going to result in divorce in our modern age. Let's get into it. A lot of you guys already know this, but divorce is getting higher and higher percentage rate in America and the world in general. And a lot of people are trying to figure out what's going on. Like, what is it happening in our culture? Is it happening with our careers? Is it just happening with, the fabric of our society? The people are targeting, like, if it's your career, do careers play a part in you divorcing? They said statistically there are careers they have tracked through their metrics that do statistically end in divorce more often than other careers. So let's get into why certain careers end in divorce more and what exactly they are. And we're going to start with 10 and work our way back. Number 10, engineering technicians, expert drafters. Now, I don't know 100% what that means. Maybe you guys do. But their divorce rate is approximately 14%. So 14% of people in that career path divorce. That's a pretty solid amount. It says engineering technicians are instrumental in taking ideas and turning them into reality, but they also experience higher divorce rates according to the study. The downfall could be that they're spending too much time assisting engineers and scientists with research and problem solving than nurturing their marital bond. There might be travel involved as well. So maybe they're just saying that the job just requires a lot of time consumption, that they're involved in their career a lot more, and they're just guessing here, I assume, that they're so tied up in their careers that they're not spending very much time, nurturing their relationships in their personal life, which of course will end up not going well for that relationship. So that doesn't seem like there's a lot of solid data on exactly why that would be. And as you can imagine, it's going to be kind of hard to identify exactly a specific reason that each career will end in divorce more often than not. But it is good to kind of know approximately more people in this career seem to divorce. So let's get into my fingers here, 9. Clerical assistants and library assistants. Now this is very strange. I wouldn't have expected this one at all, but they divorce at approximately a 15% rate. The reasoning here is as the person that helps you find reading materials and animatedly engage in story time mode is more likely to experience divorce. The likelihood of divorce might come as a surprise when you're considering the lack of potential job stressors. But then they say that the financial tensions of the fact that most of these people earn very little money. A part-time person in the library may earn $25,000 a year, it says, median annual salary, according to the Department of Labor. So that may be a true element to them if maybe they're just not making very much money and they're having a lot of financial struggle with that, potentially, who knows. But again, library assistants, watch out. Number 8. Non-farm animal caretakers. I don't know exactly what that means by non-farm animal caretakers. So I suppose the point being that they take care of animals, but they're not like an organized farm. They're not like farmers, I guess they're trying to say. It says pets provide people with so much joy, but jobs that involve caring for these creatures result in divorce. Unfortunately, compassion fatigue, which is emotional exhaustion caused by caring for traumatized animals or people, could be the culprit. So maybe they're just cared out. They've invested most of their emotional energy into taking care of these animals. And it says their rate is approximately 15% of divorce. Number 7, the military. It says non-specified rank. So I think this just means general enlisted military. It's 15% divorce rate, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you have military friends or know much about the military, you know that that's probably actually a low estimate. There is just a lot of demands, and they point out here that the job demands a lot. You are pretty much tied into the government. They kind of have control over where you live, what you do, where you go, what job you do. It's not very conducive to usually spouses and families. They have to be extremely understanding of the fact that they're not number one. Like, they have to come number two for these people in their lives. Number 6. combined service workers, food preparation and service workers, essentially like waiters, waitresses, people like that. It's also a 15% divorce rate, just as high as the military enlisted apparently. It says, ask anyone who's waitressed or bust a table and they'll tell you it's far from glamorous. Picture unhappy customers, poor tippers, and hours on your feet. It's not exactly a dream job, and apparently it's not good match for marriage either, with the divorce rate being at 15%. I'll have a lot of friends that were waiters and waitresses and stuff and worked in the food industry, and I feel like the stories they have told me, I never worked food service, so I don't know, but the stories they told me, it seemed like everybody was hooking up with everybody back there. It just sounded like a party, like a party while you were at work, and everybody was kind of mixing it up. So yeah, I imagine that's probably not very good for long-term monogamous relationships. But I don't know, maybe you guys who have worked in the serving industry, you can hit me up down below in the comments and let me know, like, what was it like for you? Did I get the wrong impression? Is it, not like that at all? Number 5, chemical technicians. They have a rate of 15% also. This is not a career I know much about. It says they experience a high divorce rate when compared to other job holders in the study. Individuals in this profession spend a lot of time in laboratories conducting research and testing chemical products and processes. Maybe there's just a lot of time demand with that career, or maybe it attracts certain people to that kind of work that maybe are not amazing at human-to-human interaction and communication and social aspects. I don't know. I might just be projecting that, but I am curious as to exactly why that one particular career would need a higher divorce, or would have a higher divorce rate. Number 4. Military enlisted tactical operations and air weapons. So that's interesting. So we're still picking on military here and identifying that this particular branch of the military or version of the military is approximately 17%. So even a higher version than the other general enlisted. It says this broad category of military personnel also has a higher divorce rate among the 30 and younger demographic, with one gender dominating, according to the research, with one gender dominating. I wonder if that means like they're almost all males. The career site references a Princeton study that shows enlisted women to have a higher divorce rate than enlisted men when compared to civilians. That is surprising. I wouldn't have expected that, but that's what their data is saying. You guys let me know in the military. I mean, I don't want to pick on you guys. I love the military. I have friends that are officers in the military. Yeah, actually they're not married at all, so maybe that's why they're not divorced. But maybe you guys, can let me know. Is there a lot of divorce going on in the military? I feel like I've heard that through the grapevine from other people, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. Number 3, automotive service technicians and mechanics. So the mechanics are at a 17% divorce rate. It says the professions of automotive service techs and mechanics rank as one of the likeliest to lead to divorce. People in these professions have one of the highest rates of injury and illness. I could see that. And they come home tired often and could end up not likely being in a good mood for a heavy dose of family time. I could see that. That totally makes sense if you're working on cars and engineering stuff and automotive stuff and you're tired, you come home and you've dealt with some angry customers all day. Maybe you're not in the mood to do a lot of family time and communication and stuff, which would cause your relationship to suffer. And some people who are mechanics make good money, but there are quite a few others I know who don't make amazing money for the amount of time that they put in, and with back injuries or other injuries that could interfere with your potential to long term make good money. I could see that to be a stressful career. Number 2, logisticians. Logisticians. Am I saying that correct? Their divorce rate is 18%. It says that if death do us part is of high importance, you might want to overlook a career in logistics. It says supply chain professionals hold the second worst job for lasting marriages. Supply chain professionals. I'm not 100% what logisticians even are, but it sounds like maybe they work within a company or something for supplies. And drum roll please for the number 1 divorce rate in America, or it doesn't even specify America, I suppose, but number 1 divorce rate per the statistics is enlisted or officer military personnel. So I guess NCOs or which is like non-commissioned officers in the military, or commissioned officers, have the highest at 30% of a divorce rate. Very, very high. And it actually says that, it says first line enlisted military supervisors manage and lead enlisted service members. Well, okay, maybe they're just talking about enlisted officers here, and maybe they're not talking about commissioned officers, which, if you don't know the difference, commissioned officer is someone who went to college and got a bachelor's degree or master's or doctorate and then became commissioned as an officer in the military. Non-commissioned officers were enlisted personnel who probably don't have a college education, if not maybe some college education, but maybe not a degree, a bachelor's or higher degree, and they just worked their way up to the ranks as enlisted and then was a non-commissioned officer. I believe that's true. You can fact check me on that, but I think that's true. So it seems like they're specifying that these guys, the non-commissioned ones who were enlisted and worked their way up, teams tend to have a 30% divorce rate. Wow. It says their role tends to put a staggering strain on their marriages. Individuals under the age of 30 have a 30% divorce rate, making it the most divorced profession according to the Zippia's research. Wow, that's pretty bad. So especially if you're a non-commissioned officer under the age of 30, sounds like your odds of the marriage lasting very long is not great. So interesting. I'm not trying to pick on military at all here. I didn't make up this data, and so I don't know what's going on in the military, but you guys let me know down below in the comments what you think about it. And you're probably wondering, what the heck, Jason, you did all this talk about these 10 professions here and you didn't even mention CRNAs, which is what I am, which is what this channel is about. It's about anesthesia, so what the heck. So turns out CRNAs are on this list. We did make one of the top divorce rates, but we weren't in the top 10, thank God. We were number 21, nurse anesthetist at 21 on the list. We have an approximate 12% divorce rate. This thing, like some of the other descriptions, kind of is like reaching at straws to figure out why the divorce rate's happening. Because like I said earlier, it's going to be very hard for someone to really be able to estimate exactly why people divorce within a certain career. But you can look at the data and say a lot more people seem to divorce in that career, and then try and draw some conclusions. And I can tell you a little bit more about what I think the reasons are in a minute. But this is what they say. The nursing field as a whole can be stressful, but the work of a nurse anesthetist takes stress to an entirely different level. True. These professionals administer or adjust patients' anesthetics, closely monitor the vital signs of anesthetized patients, and must make critical decisions independently and quickly. Essentially, the life of a patient rests in their hands, which might create both physical and mental stress and contribute to a higher divorce rate. That's pretty true. What you do as a CRNA is very stressful. It can be very mentally fatiguing, and there definitely are times where you would come home from work, and if I'm in a relationship, I may not feel like talking. I may not feel like going out. Maybe they want to go out to dinner, and she booked reservations for some nice restaurant, and I may just want to sit on the couch and eat Outback Steakhouse, to go and just chill out and watch Netflix, and I don't want to go out. That could be a problem. Or you might find yourself being angry or lashing out at people, or taking out your frustration from work or stress from work out on your, spouse or something. So that would be a problem too. Another thing that I've seen in the anesthesia world is a little bit of like some egos and some ideas that I don't know, especially from dudes. Usually women are not bad about this, but some of the dudes can be very flirtatious, and they think that they can kind of flirt with anybody in the hospital, and a lot of times they can get with a lot of people in the hospital, and sometimes they do. And so some of the dudes, not all of them, but there are some who kind of have that attitude and that machismo type vibe, and they may be married or something, but they may be playing the field, and there's just lots of options, I would say, in the hospital for a guy who's willing to put himself out there as a CRNA and not caring about monogamy or anything. He could probably do a lot of stuff, and there are some who do. And it's a really terrible mindset, and I don't like it, and I don't usually befriend those kind of people. But I would say there's enough people I know of who have done that kind of thing that that it becomes a problem, and that may also lead to the divorce rate as well, some infidelity and stuff. So yeah, those are all things to consider. It definitely does not mean that CRNAs all divorce, and I know tons of CRNA couples and you know, people who are CRNAs who are married to other people who are not CRNAs who have healthy, successful, happy marriages. So don't go into the career thinking, oh no, I'm gonna get a divorce. This just means that, you know, there are some that fall into a trap, and where you have money and ego and position of autonomy and power and stuff, you have some people who run amok. And so just don't be one of those people. If you're one of those people, you were one of those people before you became a CRNA, you were just then afterwards given the tools to really become a trash human. And so don't be the trash human. Be somebody who's really working on yourself and trying to be the best version of yourself. Take that home with you every day, being the best version of yourself, and give that to your spouse too. So that's my best advice from a person who is not married and currently completely single. So take that with a grain of salt. I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. What do you think? What are these? What would you say is the top careers that get a divorce? Was it on this list of top 10, or is there something else that you would say is a top career that divorces? I always heard lawyers were very high in the divorce rate, but maybe they're not. Who knows? It was just maybe a projection I had from some of the stuff I've seen. Hear from you guys down below. Make sure and join the membership if you're interested in getting into CRNA school. Go over to the YouTube channel here and join the membership. Join up. There's multiple levels of membership for whatever you're looking for right now, currently in your path and your journey. Make sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button. You know, come back every time. I post every Monday for videos, and so if you subscribe, you'll get a chance to see what they are every Monday. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok. It's Bolt CRNA over there too. And that's Bolt out.